What's happened here? Oh, hang on. Right, 1 second. Right, I'll grab that. Okay. So we do have really good flow rate here, evidently. Sometimes these things happen, unfortunately. Right, let's give everything a little clean up here. Good morning. We are Monday the 15th of September. A little bit of a chilly start today, but I was in my hoodie. I'm now in my t-shirt because me and the Josh man are doing a boiler swap today. So you guys will remember this depending on how many of my videos you've seen, but I've done quite a bit of work on this boiler. Changed the right hand block on it, done the flow elbow, changed the plate out on it as well. But the customer's just still having problems with the boiler and they just want to get rid of it. We've kept it going as long as we can. I think it's about 20 years old, this one. The customer said that they had it changed in about 2005, and obviously we're 2025 now. Well, we're taking Worcester off, so it's always better for the world when we're getting rid of another Worcester. So Josh has just started to strip it out. We're going to drain it all out. The plan is we're going to try and get the flush going whilst we're doing the boiler, because down here, as you see all the pipe work, it goes down there. Just had a look underneath here and it looks like we might be able to do some jiggery pokery down there and then bring everything up just underneath there. We'll see what we can do, how we get on. We've got a nice Baxi 824 combi going in. 10-year warranty on that, comes with the filter in the box, and it's a Baxi, so we know we're getting a quality product and shouldn't have any issues, fingers crossed. So I am probably just going to set this up on a time lapse and we'll just see what we do, how we get on. Boiler is off, and down here, so Josh has cut all this pipe work back, so we've got return. And here's the stupid thing, the filter that was on here was on the return facing the wrong way. The arrow was pointing down even though it's meant to be coming up. So we've got our return, we've got our flow, we've got our gas, hot. The funny thing is a lot of this has been piped in 22, so even basically everything's in 22. The primaries are going to every single rad in 22 and then they're just reducing down to 15 to the rad, so shouldn't have any problem with the heat dissipation from there. Up here I'm going to now pull out all of the pipes from above. Power flush machine is at, it's struggling at the moment. It's only just gone over 20 degrees, so we want to wait for that to get hot. Then connect it onto the flame returns here, so we can have that flushing whilst we're doing the boiler. So in the meantime, I'm gonna cut all this out, get rid of all this unnecessary pipe work, and we'll then get the boiler hung and then see what we need to do with the flue, etc. Hopefully the power flush machine will be warmed up by then, and then we can make a start on the flush and then start piping everything else up in the meantime. So let's go. What is it? 11:15, so not bad timing so far. Josh, always sitting down on the job. Typical, you just can't find good help these days. No, I'm joking. I've been eating. He's actually been working on the boiler. Let me show you where we're up to. So obviously the boiler is on the wall. Flue's done, just got to seal it in inside and outside. We were contemplating whether to do these pipe runs underneath or above, and the reason why we've gone above is Josh picked up that down here we've obviously got a joist running there, and then we've got that joist at the back there. So I'm trying to get my bearings right with this lens. So what we're doing instead is, rather than bringing everything up there, because otherwise from above we would have had to do offsets to bring everything down, which would have been long. So we are just bringing everything straight up, and then we're going to link onto there. We've got the power flush machine on the flying returns at the moment, and from here everything would just go zoop zoop zoop. Yeah, it's so far so good. Flush has been running for probably longer than it needs to. It's been an hour and a half that it's been circulating the whole system, which is good. We are now, oh, he's gone. He's disappeared. Just like that. I'm trying to flip this around. The guy's a magician. He's just disappeared out of nowhere. Okay, I'm gonna finish having my lunch. Josh is ordering his lunch, and then I'm not sure how we're going to, what's the next part of the plan. One of us is going to jump on getting the boiler connections done here, and the other one's going to start isolating the rads and flushing them out. There's 1, 2, I think there's only 5 or 6 rads. And do you know what, I actually haven't even checked. Let's swing this round. I can't actually tell. I don't think it's actually that dirty. I think it looks worse than it is because it's obviously dark. If I, yeah, that actually doesn't look that bad. But usually you see the effects of it once you start isolating the rads. And if you've got certain stubborn radiators, then you start seeing the dirt really come out and the water going black. So we'll see anyway how we're going. It is hot in here, like really hot, because obviously my Powerflush machine is the thermal one. So that's running right now at, let's see how many degrees. Let's flip this camera around again. Focus. So that's running at about 40 degrees. Come on. Sorry, I know the camera's not focusing right now. But yeah, it's basically, that's running at 40 degrees. So all the radiators have got heat to them. So we are pretty hot. Josh is in his shorts and t-shirt. I retired my shorts. Possibly prematurely. They might come out of retirement. We'll see. But gonna have lunch, then flush, boiler, and we'll see how we go. All right, we've just finished the flush. Let's see how bad. Doesn't feel that heavy. Doesn't feel that heavy. That's actually not too bad for something which is 20 years old. That's the first one. Yeah, there's a bit more on that one there. Oh, that's Josh trying to buzz himself in. Let me let him in, but yeah. Let's get that cleaned up and then we can start dumping and then piping up the boiler. Right. Well, that's not the worst that I've seen, but obviously where it's all collecting, it makes it look a lot more darker than it is. So just gonna let that do its thing. What's happened here? Oh, hang on. Right, 1 second. Right, I'll grab that. Okay. So we do have really good flow rate here, evidently. Sometimes these things happen, unfortunately. Right, let's give everything a little clean up here. Right, the time is 7:10 and we're finished. And to be fair, considering we didn't actually get started, I think about 10 to 11 or so, it's not bad going. The biggest thing that saved us time on this job was the Powerflush. We got the Powerflush on straight away, which is what I tend to try and do. It's only sometimes if you're working in a space where you haven't got a lot of space and you can't have the Powerflush machine on at the same time, then it's like do the install, then do the flush, which then makes it a whole lot longer. But yeah, we were actually, I'll be honest, it's probably taken me the best part of, I hate to say it, probably an hour and a half to 2 hours, just tidying everything up, clearing everything up. And we know how long that takes because I'm in a flat, so going downstairs, going to the van, coming back upstairs, up, down, up, down, up, down. I've climbed 19 stairs according to my watch. I've burnt just shy of 4,000 calories. I've done 6,600 steps and I've walked 3.23 miles today. And that's just going up and down and yeah, with the boiler stuff. But let me show you the boiler itself. There we go. So the flue actually wasn't too bad to do as well because outside where the main entrance is, they've got like the balcony bit. So we were able to stand on there and sort the flue out from the outside. So it's been sealed inside and outside. And I wasn't sure how deep the backseat is compared to the Worcester. So I did bring another an elbow and a 45 in case I had to kick it and then go, but no, it just lined up straight. So that's all good. I've left this sticker. Normally I take all the stickers off and I like to have a nice clean boiler face, but because the customer's elderly, this will help them obviously to top up the pressure if they ever need to. And on this back seat, it's so easy. You literally just pull the green lever and you're done. But yeah, other than that, all good. And down here is where we've done all the jiggery pokery, added all the gubbins in, so all that's down there, filters down there, shock arrestor is there, lime scale reducer is there, we've got stopcock there which turns off the cold mains. But yeah, everything's good, nothing's leaking, everything's been commissioned, customer's happy, I'm happy. I've got a leaking radiator to go and look at now, but I'm going to call the tenant to see how badly it's leaking, if I can be bothered to go there now. Because yeah, like I said, it is 7:15 and I could either go literally 3 minutes drive home, or I've got a however long drive it takes to get to Woodford from Romford. But yeah, it's been a good day, the job's done and I'm happy, customer's happy, everything's working beautifully. We didn't have any problems on this job whatsoever, so it's nice to have a job which goes to plan. I know I didn't really film much in terms of us doing the pipe work, but it was a bit tricky because it would have been, Josh was down here, I was up here, all you would have seen is the backs of us just working, so I didn't bother filming us doing any of the pipe work. But yeah, everything's been cleared up. I'm just gonna move the table and stuff back for the customer and then I will be out of here. So thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, even though it was quite short. But as ever, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Thanks a lot. So there's always upsides and downsides to finishing install. The upside is I get to come home and see the missus. She's hiding behind the door. Give us a wave. I think she's in her PJs. But this is the downside of finishing an install. My van is absolutely ramo. I've got to empty all this out. Sorry about the wind noise, I can't bother to put the dead cats on, but absolutely rammed. So now I've got the fun task of clearing all this before I start work tomorrow. This will be fun. Not. Good morning. We are Friday the 19th of September. It's going to be a glorious 26 degrees today, out of nowhere. I'm very tired today. I am really struggling today. It's been a tough week sleep-wise. Jessica's got a cold and she only wants to sleep. She's a daddy's girl, so she only wants to sleep with me, but she doesn't actually sleep. So that means I don't sleep. And today I am really struggling. It's like it's actually hit me. So I am glad that it's a Friday. And I'm glad that I have the weekend off. I say it's a weekend off, but when you've got two young kids, it's never a weekend off. But hopefully I'll get a bit of a lay-in tomorrow just to try and recover a bit. But you know when you don't sleep, it affects everything. It affects everything. Like, okay, I don't want to get into it too much, but I've been doing a bit more research and listening to a lot of podcasts on like health and sleep and stuff. And sleep is the number one thing that affects everything that goes wrong with you. If you don't sleep properly, your body just can't recover. And I think that's what's happening to me. Where I'm not sleeping, my body's just not recovering. And it's just compounding and compounding and compounding. And we're getting into silly season now, so I need to recover so that I'm ready for silly season. Because my phone's been pinging off already. It's been pinging off services. Like, at the moment, it's just mainly servicing. I want to get my boiler checked. I want to get my heating checked. I want to make sure everything's working before we get into winter, which is fine. But then when that coincides with breakdowns as well is when, it gets quite stressful.
But yeah, I'm hoping after the weekend, when I'm back on Monday, I'll be a lot more cheerful. But today, my first job right now is to basically just replace a Fernox TF1 filter with a MagnaClean and pre-dose the system, because I'm going to be coming back to power flush it in a week's time, I think. After that, I've got a breakdown in Chingford. It's a Valent heat only, which is making rattling noise. Sounds like it's kettling from the video I've been sent, and also apparently it's coming on by itself, so it might be a program issue or something like that. I've got a fly up to Harrow to look at that cylinder where I've replaced the combi valve and all that. They're having some other issues. There was an electric boiler there as well, so I need to see what's going on there. And then on my way back, I've got a E160 on a Potterton Gold, which is a fan, so I've got a fan on me, and hopefully that will be a nice quick repair, and then I can go home. But let's see how the day goes. Let's go into this one first, get this MagnaClean fitted, and then we can move on to the next one. As always, guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It does take a lot of time and effort to put these videos together, and obviously recording whilst I'm working, and as it gets busier, it takes up a lot of time. So if you are watching the videos and you are enjoying the content, I'd really appreciate it if you could just, it doesn't cost you anything, just click that like and subscribe button. Let's get into the job.
Right, we've got our Ecotech Plus 835. This is coming out. So what I'm gonna do, I've already put the boiler into mid position. I'm gonna drain the pressure out of here. We do need to do a little bit of pipework adjustment because the MagnaClean filter is slightly shorter, so that's why I've got myself press coupling, press gun, tiny stub of 22. So yeah, I'm gonna drain the pressure out of there, then isolate the valves. Well, probably don't need to isolate the valves. Once the pressure's off, the pressure's off. Then I can do what I need to do. Get the MagnaClean on, pre-dose it with some MC5, leave that to circulate for about a week or so, and then we're going to come back and power flush this. I've left the bottle of inhibitor up there so I don't forget. Well, I wouldn't forget anyway, I've got inhibitor on the van, but that's come as the pack, so let's get it done. Well, that's quite handy. I've got a gully right here, so I haven't got to worry about draining anything out into there. Now, the way I do this, a lot of people will be thinking, right, you've got to drain the whole system out, but you haven't. Isolate the flow and returns under the boiler, so that basically pulls a vacuum and it creates like an airlock. When you just open this up, you let it all drain out until the water stops. Once the water stops, the whole system will still be full of water, unless you open a bleed on a radiator, then you'll have everything gushing out. But the way that I do it is you don't need to drain the whole system out. You create a vacuum. I can remove that once the pressure's off. There won't be any more water coming out, and then I can replace that while the system's still full of water. Right, let's add in some MC5. Let's hope we don't get any spillover. We shouldn't do. Do it nice and slowly. Lovely. Cool. Okay, open that. Open that. Open up. Right, let's just top up some pressure. Make sure that we're all good. As long as there's no leaks, then that's a new AD Pro 2 fitted, and we'll get on to the next one. Next job, I've got here a Valent 4 Series heat only. You might remember this from a little while ago. I had to fit that condense pump. I think, yeah, I've changed that pump as well, but I've had a video sent over from the management agency saying, well, showing that it's sort of, it sounds like it's kettling, and apparently it's been coming on and off by itself. What's that noise? Ah, that's, I don't know. We've got, it looks like we've got cold water storage tank probably up there. I think that's, is that new? I can't remember. We've got a 3-port here. We've got a programmer here. So the heating is off. Hot water's on auto. That all seems to be okay. I can't remember if I've replaced that programmer or not. Let's see what's going on with that. Well, I think that 3-port is buggered. So I've just motored that open and it's not motoring back. Now, is there a catch or lever? How does this 3-port come off? Does it twist off? I've not come across this 3-port before. Let me figure out how to get it off, if there's a lever or button or something on it to release the head. Then we'll check if the spindle needs lubing up, and then I'll turn it on, see what's going on there. The F&E tank is up there, which I know because I've had to bung, because I did change that pump. So let's make sure that's also full of water as well, if that's been kettling. Right, managed to get the 3-port head off. It does literally just pull off of there. That spindle is moving nice and freely. That, however, is still, that should have sprung back, but it hasn't, so I reckon synchro motor, this needs changing. I'll get one from the van in a minute, but before I do all that, I'm gonna put a demand on. I want to see what's going with the boiler. Actually, before I even do that, let me check if there's water in the F&E tank. Right, I've confirmed that there is water in the F&E tank, because although I can't see, so you guys might be able to see. Yeah, but that's full of water. I've tried touching magnet on the H section here. That's all fine. Nothing's attracting there. And yeah, we've got water coming out there. So that's fine. Okay, let's give it a demand. Let me, which I do I need to, let me put the 3-port back on, I think. Give it a demand, see what it does. Do you know what? One of the things that might be the reason why it's coming on by itself, that's 11:20 on there, 12:18. So first of all, that's an hour behind, so that might be the reason why. Okay, let me set the timer and everything, and we'll test it. Right, now that I've set the time, that's come on because it's due to come on between 12 and 1. I can hear straight away. Pump's had it. Yeah, pump's had it. That's why this is all kettling. I'm actually going to recommend sealing the system on this one, because we've got the cold feed and vent obviously coming down here. The pump is actually fitted on the return, which is not a massive issue because pumps can be fitted on the return as long as it's pointing the right direction, which is that arrow there is pointing up, so that's going back into the returns. That's not a problem, but I think it's drawing in air, and that's what's killing the pump, because I can hear, and that's rumbling. So it might have been getting burnt out. We've got the cold feed and vent in here. That's then traveling down there and then going into the pump down there, or into the system there, and then obviously coming up to the pump. So I've got a feeling maybe it's drawing in air, and we've got space here to fit an expansion vessel. Got the cold mains there, so that can come up there. We can, even that, look, that's like on 10 mil or something. But I can come off of there for the cold feed, put a filling loop in this area, expansion vessel PRV, external wall straight out there. And hopefully that should stop the pump from dying. And obviously we'll have to replace the pump again as well. Right, next job, let's go. But first, some lunch. It's been a long day, traveling. Didn't really film, well, I didn't film that Harrow job because it's basically the cylinder and the electric boiler both. So they're gonna need replacing. I then had a gas hob to do, which came in,
but it was literally reconnect where I think they'd had some work done or something. So I was going to film it, but it wasn't a repipe or anything. It was literally reconnect, gas test done. At the last one now, where I have been called out to E160 on a Potterton Gold, which is, yeah, fan fault. So I've got that, and I've also got this one here. So I'm going to take in both for the customer, ask them whether they want me to fit the brand new one or the, well, it's not really reconditioned. It's just off of a boiler that I've ripped out. I can't remember how long ago I ripped it out. So give them the option which one they want. Fit it, get done, get home. Luckily this one's in Romford, and this is in that block of flats in Romford where I have my special parking space. Nice and secure. Let's go and get it done. Right, here we go. Potterton Gold, which is basically a Baxi Geotech. Fan was replaced back in April, which is what, only a few months ago, so we're in September now. The test that I normally do is I pull out the speed connector and we should be just getting power to the fan. We are getting power to the fan because I've just checked with my volt pen, but it doesn't want to be spinning. And as soon as we give it a demand, let me plug that back in first. It's going straight to E160. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just plug the connectors into this fan and see if we get the fan to run. Then at least we know that the PCB is fine and it is definitely the fan. Otherwise it could be the PCB which is not sending the right sort of power and signal to the fan and back and forth. Right, so I've just plugged in the other fan. Let's pop the power on. There we go. So it's definitely the fan. So that's what's meant to happen every time you turn the boiler off and on. The fan does a little sequence to check that it's running. Now, I run a hot tap, but obviously it's not gonna ignite because the fan's not actually fitted into the boiler, but we should see, there we go. It's definitely a fault with the fan. Turn that off, get this fan swapped out and get the boiler back up and running. Right, we are going with the new fan, so I brought the electrodes out just in case, but electrodes on this seem fine. So part number for this fan is there, if anyone wants to make a note of it for future reference. And to swap the fan out, 1, 2, 3. So those 3 you can get to it from the top. But that one you need, actually that's got a little open end on it. So this one, I don't think it had that. Or did it? Nah, that one didn't. So this one should just slide off. Because I do remember this is the new part number, so that one's been superseded by this one. So this one's probably got the little notch on it as well, which means that you can just loosen that. It's 8mm screws. Yeah, there you go. That's got that little notch on it as well. So we don't need to take that one out fully, just need to loosen it. And then we can slide it out. So yeah, 8mm screws or PH2s, get them all out, swap the fan over and pop it back in. Right, new fan is in, moment of truth. That's a good sign. That's all connected. Oh, that's what I forgot. That will give you an ignition lockout, so that needs to go into that nipple behind the fan there. And now, yeah, that's, make sure it's not kinked. Let it go again. There we go. We have flame. So yeah, don't forget,
that little clear tube. There's two nipples. You've got nipple on the side and you've got nipple on the back. It goes on that back nipple, otherwise you'll get ignition lockout. And that's getting warm already. Happy days. Job done.